Hello friends, I have brought for you a new YouTube channel. Here you will learn all the facts related to research topics. Along with that, you will also find out what statistics is and when, how and where it is applied. I hope my effort will be useful to you, so let's get started with our video. Research is basically made up of two words, re and search, where means again and search means to look for. So if you read these together, it means to search for something again. But searching again does not mean simply repeating or presenting an old research all over again. It is important to invent or discover something new in it. For example, when we have gadgets like mobile phones, the latest version of a phone comes with an even better flashlight, improved battery backup, camera, and extra RAM. In the same way, we see this with our other gadgets like cars, air conditioners, coolers, and even in our daily lifestyle, such as food. What should we eat? What is healthy for us? What clothing is in trend? What fashion is currently popular? We find out all these things through research as well. Now, through research, we have learned that it is done step by step. So, the first thing to discuss is what the characteristics of research are. There are two characteristics of research. The first characteristic of research is that it is conducted in a controlled environment or controlled condition where an independent variable is manipulated, adjusted, or changed to observe its effect on the dependent variable. The second classification or characteristic is that the results obtained from it are generalized or applied more broadly. To conduct this, the first step is sample selection. After selecting the sample, data collection is carried out. Data collection can be done through any means questionnaires, observation schedules, or any other method. So, these are the two main characteristics on the basis of which we look at research methods. Now, let's talk about its definition. According to Matthew, in 1969, the scientific method is a serial process by which all the sciences obtain answers to their questions. And according to John Dewey, in 1933, scientific research is a systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of hypothetical propositions about the relations among natural phenomena. That is, from both of these definitions, it becomes quite clear that we study anything in a systematic, organized, and controlled way in which we carefully form a hypothesis where we have a supposition or assumption about it that it might possibly be like this. The result will come out. Now, the question is, what are its steps? Because this is scientific, it basically proceeds step by step. So, the very first step is the identification of the problem, in which we select any problem. Whatever field we want to conduct research in, we read its literature and identify the problem from there. The second step is hypothesis formation, in which, according to Kurlinger, a hypothesis is a conjectural statement or tentative proposition about the relationship between two or more phenomena or variables. That is, we create a tentative proposition about the relationship between two or more variables or phenomena. This is what is called a hypothesis. The third step is data collection, which, as mentioned earlier, can be done through questionnaires, observation schedules, or other methods. This data is then organized. After that, the data is analyzed. For this, separate statistical methods are used. Then, the implication of the hypothesis is determined through deductive reasoning. In other words, the hypothesis is tested. For example, let's assume that an observer wants to know why so much aggression is displayed, even though that much aggression isn't necessary in the situation. For this, they will first need to review the literature. Then they will realize that aggression does not arise on its own. It is generated from frustration. Frustration occurs when we are in a state of conflict, when we are unable to decide whether to do this or that. That is when we experience frustration, and as frustration gradually increases, it eventually turns into aggression. So, in this way, the researcher or observer will now formulate the hypothesis that frustration leads to aggression. That is, frustration leads to aggression. After this, they will proceed further. They will collect data through related questions and observation schedules, or whatever method of data collection is used, and then verify it. Then we move on to the next step. We arrive at the conclusion after going through all this data collection and everything else. We reach a conclusion that reveals what basis has emerged from it. Now, the next step is the verification of the hypothesis, for which we proceed to the verification of the hypothesis. This involves significance levels such as the 0.01 level and the 0.05 level, which I will explain later. After this, we determine whether it is significant or insignificant. After that, we generalize it, stating that this is the conclusion drawn from the research and that it can be generalized. Let me know how you like this video by commenting below, and please subscribe to my channel so that you keep getting information about research related videos like this. Until then, take care and stay tuned.